I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate what we call the assisted deadlift. We'll show this a number of different ways in the clinic. Probably the easiest of two to do at home, I'll demonstrate here. So I'm going to use this stick. Now this could be a broom or a mop handle, a golf club, baseball bat, but it's just something to help us keep our spine straight as we do the following movement. So I'm going to bring the stick behind me. It doesn't really matter which hand you put in the high position, but we're going to put one hand high and one hand low. And my microphone's here a little bit in the way. And I'm going to get it touching my head, my upper back, and my tailbone. I'm going to put my feet about shoulder width apart. So one of the bigger mistakes we'll see is people get too wide or they'll get too narrow. So if you need help, just hold the stick at your shoulder and make sure your feet are about that distance away from one another. So I'm going to go ahead and stand. I'll let you see from the side view here. It's going to touch my stick, my upper back, and tailbone. And I'm going to perform a simple hip hinge. Now, when I'm doing it, you'll notice that the stick doesn't deviate from those 3 points. So it's not breaking away and my spine's not moving into what we call a flexion pattern or an extension pattern. This is probably the more common of the two. And so in order to be successful at that, what I'm doing is I'm rotating my knees out and away, almost like I'm riding a horse. So I'm riding a horse and I'm bending at the hip. So what I'm not doing is I'm not squatting. So I'm not lowering myself that much to the body. I'm mostly just moving my hips backward and my chest is coming down to the form like a dinner table. Now that's with a stick. Sometimes what's easiest for people is they'll find a wall and they'll take one of their feet, they'll stand about a foot distance away from the wall and they can practice trying to touch the wall with their rear. And that's another way to practice assisting the deadlift pattern or performing a hip hinge, it's also called. So this is the assisted deadlift and or hip hinge.